What's up, core reporters, and welcome back to my channel. I've got some more shocking news about dog killer David Eason, disgraced former Teen Mom 2-star, unemployed husband of Jenelle Evans. Wow, you guys, this is coming straight from the Ashley's Reality Roundup. And she's saying, according to her sources and some court documents, David Eason has really stepped in it this time. Apparently, so I'm going to give you a high-level overview, then we're going to get into things point by point, line by line. So here are some of the issues with dog killer Dave, okay? So number one, allegedly CPS had tried to visit the house and David was not aware that it was CPS. He thought that they were just some intruders or trespassers or trolls or whatever. And so he threatened to shoot them. Not great when you're under investigation for being a little bit unhinged and unsafe around children, right? Number two, he and Jenelle are not to make any sort of contact with Jace. And guess what? There was some court stuff going down, some hearings, and none other than David Eason walked on in uninvited, knowing that Jace would be there and knowing that there was a 1,000% no contact order around Jace as well. And not only that, but because David and Jenelle have been so uncooperative with CPS when it comes to visits and whatnot, apparently the organization has decided that they are no longer going to allow them the option to be present when their children are interviewed about the alleged abuse that they've suffered on the swamp. You guys, this is a doozy. I've got so much to say. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So just as a reminder, this is going to be quite heavy. This is not an easy topic at all. So take care of yourself. If you need a pause, take a walk, whatever, go ahead and do that. Yesterday, after all the news that I was covering, in addition to reading all the news about the Israel-Palestine stuff, you know what I did? I played Wordle just to ease my mind because it all felt so heavy. And then I read a story about somebody I knew back in Ottawa who had passed away. And it was just so much. I was like, I need to be calm. It was 1 a.m. at this time. I couldn't go out for a walk, which is what I usually like to do. So I just played some Wordle just to, wind down from all of it. It's a lot going on in the world right now. And I totally get it. So let's start off with dog killer David rolling up to the court hearing that was taking place with CPS, with Jace being there as well. According to the Ashley, people at the court were shocked when David walked in. They are very well known around here, and he obviously is very recognizable. He's very tall, very particular in the way that he presents himself with the beard and whatnot, everything else he's got going on. And of course, he was quickly shooed away from the vicinity, from the courthouse and everything like that, because it's totally unacceptable for him to be anywhere near Jace. Listen, although he doesn't seem like he was scolded at that point or told that he was in violation of a court order, I do believe that this is something that could come back up eventually when it comes to further rulings surrounding David and Jenelle and the children. This doesn't bode well for him. If he is able to do things this bold, right, that could emotionally trigger or harm Jace in front of court officials, in front of the very people who put these orders in place, there is no telling what he does, right, in private to Jace or to the other children. It just, it just shows to his reckless disregard for the status quo, for order, for the courts, for everything, for legalities and whatnot. Now, not only that, but apparently there are a lot of investigations going on. They're ramping up, I should say, in regards to how they're treating the other children outside of Jace. Jace has been saved. He no longer has to live with David and Jenelle. He's now living with his real mom, Barbara, but the other kids could be at risk here. So the Ashley sources are telling her that because Jace told the court about the alleged assault on him by David, and the alleged abuse of the other kids, the detective who was present in the court hearing with him, was asking for documentation and other items so that they could further investigate that. The investigation into the alleged assault on Jace and the other kids is ongoing and ramping up. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me what's going on, what's taking so long, which are very reasonable questions to ask, because especially with the ball having been dropped on these kids in the past and everything, people are anxious. We are on pins and needles, wondering if this is going to be it this time, right? Well, take solace in the fact that sources are coming forward and saying that, yes, the investigation is ongoing and it's ramping up. Things are getting heated here, you guys. This is very, very, very big news. So let's go back to that point about David allegedly threatened to shoot CPS workers who showed up on the land. Wow. That to me, I am so stunned by it. And you know how much David likes to appear as intimidating as possible to people. So I feel like it wasn't even just like the casual stuff that you might hear in certain places, in the US, no offense, but this might have been some real extreme version of that, because I do understand that there are certain areas where you guys do have permission and the capacity to shoot people in order to defend your property or, yourself, if you believe that you are in harm's way or anything like that. That I understand, but I think there's a limit. You can't abuse this. You can't, and I feel like he might have threatened to shoot these people in a way that is, sorry guys, I had to pause to run somewhere, but listen, the report is also saying that because Jenelle and David were so disagreeable with the CPS workers when they tried to come to the house a couple of times, they decided ultimately, you know what? You guys are sus AF, so we're going to strip you guys of being able to be present to meddle with our investigation. We are going to be interviewing your kids, Kaiser and Ensley, without you guys present. And that, I think, is going to really, really harm them. I bet that they are kicking themselves right now about the fact that they did not just go ahead and comply with the initial requests for, for an investigation. So the source is telling the Ashley, and I quote, "It was said in court that the first time CPS came, they didn't let them in. The second time, David thought they were trespassers and threatened to shoot them. The third time they came in, but Jenelle only allowed the kids to be interviewed while she was present. The kids will now be interviewed away from Jenelle." And mind you, Jace also has to do his own testifying and whatnot. And he specifically asked that Jenelle not be in the room while he testifies. And I think that that really is going to be, it's going to blow the lid off of a lot of things. It's going to be a jaw-dropping testimony. And I'm scared to hear about what he was experiencing there, to be honest with you, especially when you think about the fact that he had only been living there for a couple of months, you guys. Like, obviously, this is not going to only involve those couple of months that he was there, but it's just that everything took to a head. It blew like this after a couple of months is just so alarming to me. Like, if he experienced so much in these past few months that he led him to act this way and to run away and whatnot, I can't imagine what he was experiencing on the little times that he was visiting here and there. So I'm curious to see how far back they're going to go with his testimony and everything. And when it comes to Kaiser and Ensley, I think Kaiser in particular, like, we saw the way David treated Kaiser on Teen Mom 2 when he was on the show and everything. Remember, he referred to Kaiser as a little bitch because Kaiser was crying. We saw him drag him by the arm for that save the date photo shoot that they were doing. We saw Kaiser crying about wanting to be fed and whatnot. Like, there are so many jaw-dropping things that we have already seen. Jenelle herself, in old videos when she was leaving David, she claimed, and I think she asked for a restraining order against him, correct me if I'm wrong, but she claimed that he would lock the kids or Kaiser in the car and then turn on the ignition and whatnot. Like, there were a lot of things she was claiming about that. And I think she said that David would even be mean to the kids. He would attack the kids to punish her whenever he was mad at her. So I wonder if that stuff can be brought back up as well, because this is like, this to me feels like the last big opportunity that they have to save these kids. And I hope that they go all out to the extent with which they are able to, right? So as of right now, David and Jenelle have not responded to any of these complaints. Like the last time they responded to news circulating about them in the press, they denied it all. But now recently, Jenelle just posted a TikTok of herself lip syncing and crying, once again, distracting and gaslighting us by trying to make us believe that everything is Barbara's fault, even though Barbara's the one to step in and save her child for the second time now. What else has happened? They've posted weird Instagram stories of them seemingly rolling up marijuana to smoke as if they're celebrating the children not being at the house anymore. Like they're just acting like they have no care in the world. And I don't know, I feel like the way that they're posting on social media even can come back to bite them in the butt, because it really just does not seem like people who are remorseful or committed to change in any way, shape, or form. But that's just my opinion. As usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.